So I warned people there's some assembly required with my talks. Here's one more thing I want you to turn to the person next to you and talk about. Let's say that you have the scenario that I mentioned earlier. You've got a news crew coming into work to talk about what a great radiology practice you have. And the head of the hospital is going to be there, the governor is going to be there, as well as your local news crew. And you've got one person in your workplace who wears this wrinkled plaid shirt to work every morning. What would you say to coach that person to wear different clothing? Bear in mind this person is militant about being comfortable. So take a couple of minutes and talk through that scenario. Okay, everybody. So now you notice I'm standing threateningly here with my wireless microphone. And I want to ask some brave, brave people to tell me, how are you going to coach this person to take off their wrinkled shirt and dress really well for this visit? Anybody have any thoughts on this? I heard some great stuff going on. Now, I didn't tell you about my pointing rule. I don't call on people because statistically, in a group of this size, about 300 people here, there's probably about 82 who would rather be pecked to death by ducks than speak loud. However, one other rule I have is if somebody points to somebody else, they're volunteering themselves. Now, she didn't know that, so she gets a pass this time. Looking at people and smiling at them counts too. So who wants to take a crack at what you would say to motivate this person? All right. Okay, Larry.
Give him the day off.
Give him the day off. Bribery. Now that is a wonderful incentive. If you wear what I want you to wear, I'm going to give you a day off. Just give a day. Oh, I see. In other words, don't show up. This reminds me of what I call the three-word technique. You know, we talk about what to say to angry people or what to say when people aren't performing well. Once I was reading a case study about a lawyer who would make his points by knocking over filing cabinets. That is a case of what I call the three-word technique. Quit your job. Talk to HR. Call the police. That's like a three-word technique type solution. Anybody else?
We all got the same answer.
Yes, sir.
I could tell them that, well, my iron just broke, and so what I've been doing is spraying it down and then putting it in the dryer, and then there you go.
All right, so far we've got bribery and subterfuge. Anybody else? Okay, looking for one or two more.
Well, we kind of took what you suggested. Well, they over there were going to delegate it, but we said, well, you know, we can see that you like to be comfortable. I like to be comfortable too. It's important that we recognize interests.
Take what Barbara said at the beginning of that sentence and frame that. She says, I know that you like to be comfortable, so she's normalizing that. That's wonderful. These are good answers, and you're all walking into my trap. Because when you talk about, I didn't see your hand up. When you talk about what to say to people to try to change their behavior, the first thing you want to do is take a look at the incentives behind it. And we all have what I call a ladder of incentive. Most of us start comfortably near the bottom rungs of the ladder. These are things like fear of punishment or the desire to take a day off, for example, or other things like that. Others, if we're trying really, really hard, we get comfortably in the middle of that ladder of incentive for the other person, which is the good of the organization. You know, this is important to us, and we're going to look good if you dress appropriately. Here's where most of us never go. Before you walk into this discussion, I want you to think about the rhythm of your working relationship with this person and think about what's at the tippy top of the ladder for this person.